How to improve the value of your land in some easy and affordable ways. I'm talking with Flint Koch, who's from Missouri, has over 1,300 acres at 30 years old, started with 0 5 years ago, and he shares some of the tips that he's used to buy and sell over 10 farms and build into some really nice farms. So there's some really great and easy, useful information and tips here. Before we get into it, my name is Jake Hofer. I'm a land broker out of the state of Illinois, co-owner of Exodus, and I'm sending out some free books from my buddy Pat Porter. All you have to do is sign up for the email newsletter in the description below, send you a personal email and get that out to you, shipping on me. Hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get right into it. What have you bought and sold then?
Probably about 10 now.
10? And
12, yeah.
What would be something you would share to someone that is wanting to buy their first farm and they just don't know, they don't have the experience as you. So what would be something that you would tell them to really make sure you have to check?
As far as the farm they want to have and keep?
Maybe just one that they want to buy, and maybe they want to keep it. Maybe they'll want to sell it in a couple of years. They're just not positive.
Yeah, if it was me, I would just buy it. Try to buy it for a great price, because a lot of farms I bought, I thought were going to be great, and you got a neighbor with dogs, or they don't turn out. So try to buy them right. Don't overpay. Save all your trail camera pictures. Always add value. Put in trails. Try to put in some food plots if you can at a kind of a cabin. Like I'd put a $15,000 cabin on them, finish the inside. And that really helped them sell. I don't know if I made much money on them, but they sold really fast. I would actually just get like a garden shed. You see them all over. I'll get one that kind of looks like a cabin with a little porch, have it delivered to my house, finish the inside of it in the evenings, and then pay them to haul it to the farm. And then pick up. Usually I try to get it with like an electric close by. So that's what I did with that one that had that farmhouse on it. So that's what I did on the first few. Now I don't do that anymore because the market's so good. I don't really have to. I just got to buy it right. But for somebody buying the first place, just make sure they get a good deal and be adding value, all the time. If you can do that and hold it a few years, you'll make money on it. Yeah.
That's good advice. I've never even considered, doing the $12,000 garden house, finish it out on the inside, and then it's a place to crash for people. That's a pretty sharp idea. What's been the feedback of folks that ended up buying those farms? I mean, obviously you had, what was the feedback through the agent? When was it, man, they really loved that there was a spot to crash or a place to store stuff?
Yeah, that. And honestly, the trail camera pictures. I sold a piece in southern Missouri this year. It's 370 acres. I guess I sold it in the last year. And I put out corn piles and salt licks, and I keep going all the time. And they're all legit pictures. I had some really nice deer on it. And one guy bought it from New York, never even came out and looked at the place.
The pictures did
some other stuff. So pictures are a big deal. Same way with that first farm. I had all the pictures, and I just tacked them on the wall in the cabin. And it was all full of good trail camera pictures.
I like that idea too, because then when they're checking out the farm, they're like, "Well, check out this," and then they're like, "Oh yeah, looking at all the different deer." Seeing is believing. That's what I always say. So it's like to know for sure these are the deer here, and it's like, well, you can even. I always love it too, because I mean there is a stigma, I think, of people putting up their defense of like, are these pictures really from the farm? Yeah. And for whatever reason, I mean, when you have those pictures and you can tell and match it up to a landmark on the farm, like. Here's a picture with a giant rub to the side, and here, like, then when you're walking the farm, like there it is. I think that's really important. Have you ever tried to do that when you're taking those pictures of this, so they're not generic backgrounds?
No, not really. But I always make sure I got a bunch of different pictures of the same buck. If I got a 150-inch deer, I'll try to have 4 or 5 different pictures of them. I've even seen listings, and I hear all the time people like, well, how do you know they're not putting up pictures off the internet or whatever? Or you could. I'm like, yeah, you could, but I wouldn't feel right doing it. And like, I even seen like Bill Winke. I seen a listing one day and had his G4 buck was in the listing. And I was like, well, that's obviously not even on there. But I don't know.
It was on a different farm. It was a fake, someone put that on there disingenuously.
Yeah, I just seen it was a farm for sale. Yeah, a year or two ago. And they had one of Bill Winke's bucks on it. So it was obviously wasn't for that farm. But whenever I see a listing and they'll have a bunch of dinks and like one really big deer, one picture, I'm like, I don't know. But, you can kind of tell the good farms, they got good bucks. They'll have a bunch of good bucks. So I try to get multiple pictures, usually over Salt Lake, so I can say, hey, here's where they're taking that. So trail camera pictures are a big deal, for resale, and save them all. I keep them all on a file now on my laptop.
So would you say trail camera pictures are one of the biggest things to really be careful with when you're buying a farm with some potential intention of selling it down the road, of having that catalog ready to turn over?
Yeah, I think so. Like that farm down south, I made pretty good money on it. And I know, I mean, it was rough, up and down, steep, rocky, been logged. And I know without the trail camera pictures, I was planning on getting beaten up pretty hard on that piece. And it sold where I was. So
talk about that, because I think some people are scared to buy those types of farms because they're ugly. So when you found that, did you log it or was it already logged when you bought it?
It was logged when I bought it. I make most of my money off of terrible realtors, like the guys that never go out there. They just take a blurry outline picture of Google Earth and they list it because they're too lazy to go out there. I'm buying one in Illinois or Iowa now. The realtor
Really?
There's like two big muddy double bull blinds on it. He didn't even know it, or the big fiberglass ones,
Yeah.
And so yeah, like this one down south, it was just an outline photo, and I thought, man, for the price, it's too good of a deal. So I drove down there. And there's a huge shop on it, a big green shop with big lean-tos. I called the realtor. I said, "This with it?" He's like, "Yeah." They said one shop goes. He didn't even know it was on there. So we made a deal, and most of the stuff I'm just buying it right. I watch 5 or 6 states every day. Maybe spend an hour a day looking, and if something comes on the line this evening, I'll be there in the morning, to look at it. So try to be the first one there and get a good offer in, if not pay full price to get it. Basically, I just try to buy them good, buy them way undervalued. So back market, because I don't try to get rich off them. I don't, if top of the market's 4,000 an acre, I don't try to sell there. I like to sell at 3,500 an acre or even 3. I like
move on to the next one.
Move them pretty quick, yeah. But you got to buy them right to do that.
What are you doing right now? Because everyone feels, the market, as you mentioned, has been really strong here lately. Are you still buying right now?
Yeah, I just closed last 2 weeks. I closed on 280 acres in Iowa, and
that the one with the 2 blinds on it.
Yeah. Okay. It's all in WRP, so you can't do much, but I'm going to relist it for like 2,200 an acre, so it should sell. It's like the realtor. I called the realtor, and he wasn't listing agent or anything, and I said, "Hey, I just bought this farm. I want you guys to go out there and take pictures and relist it." He's like, "You think you can relist it after you just bought it?" I said, "I've been doing it for a long time." I said, "Should be fine." I said, "There's nothing else in Iowa cheaper. There's nothing else in Iowa really under 2,500 an acre."
Yeah.
So, and I said, "I got great trail camera pictures." I put out. It's kind of a funny deal. I found it back like around December. Went out there, put a contract on it, put out trail cameras, corn paws, and left. Went to Africa for 2 weeks. Came back and pulled them. Had probably 160-inch buck and some other nice up and comers. So I got 12, 13 point, 3-year-old. So great pictures. And then found out it was in WRP, but it was like a tree planting where you can't do any food plots, no brush hogging, nothing. So I decided to drop the contract. So I dropped contract for 2 months, and then was looking one night in Iowa, and Iowa was just stupid high. There's like most of the stuff selling for hunting land is like 4,000 to 5,000 acres. I think it's just kind of a supply and demand issue. There's not much there for sale.
Yep.
I thought, man, maybe. So I called the realtor and I said, "Hey, is that place for sale still?" Because it showed pending. He's like, "Yeah, it's still for sale, and I haven't had much interest on it. Well, it's because it was pending from when I had it before, and he never put it pending." So that was a caliber of realtor that was there. So I lowballed him a little more and got a deal on it again. So just buying it right.
What do you want to share what you bought it for? Per acre.
I think it was like 1,200, 1,500 an acre.
And you plan on selling for? And you plan on listing it for 2,250?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. And it's kind of between. There's a river that cuts along the boundary, the one side, so it shows 280 acres, but they're actually about 240 acres of landmass. So I think I'm going to lose ground there. So we're going to list it at 240, something like that. Tell them what the deal is, and so I'm kind of losing. I'm losing ground there too.
Yeah.
So, but I still think I try to make at least $600-700 an acre.
Okay.
So I do. Of course, the bigger pieces, the better. And another way, if you could stomach it, I've had farms. I got one down in Raleigh now, and the other one down south. And if you can, like I've had 2 or 3 places that if you can split 2 or 3 ways and sell 2/3, you can keep 80 or 100, paid off. Like that one down south, I could have kept that 150 after I sold the other 2 pieces, and the bank note was paid off when I sold them first 2. Man. So I've had one of those about that. Me and my buddy bought one in Illinois. We're going to keep together. I was going to do that. It was 280 acres, but terrible listing too. Been on market a long time. So they came down about 70,000. So I bought it. And my plan was the front 100, log it or sell it and let them log it. It had nice timber on it. And there's a piece across the river I was going to sell it to, about 50 acres. And the piece in the middle I wanted because there's a great pinch point in there. So I went in there bow hunting and had phenomenal season. Shot 2 bucks, hunted like 3 days. Shot 2 good bucks. My buddy came in there, Skyler, and he shot almost 150 inches 7-pointer.
Wow.
And I told him after that, I said, "Man, if you want to go in with me on this farm, I'll just keep the whole thing." So that's what we did. And it worked out good. But that one there, I could have sold the 2 pieces and kept the one. Had a place out of state that was really good bow hunting.
I love hearing this because I think some people think that these opportunities are long gone because you hear older people talk about the good old days. And people don't realize that there's opportunities right now. You just have to go out there and hunt them and work hard for them. So would you agree with that? Like, obviously you're doing it.
Oh yeah, nobody just wants to spend an hour a day looking. But
Yeah.
I've put most of my farms I bought were all like around 2,000 acre or less. You know, that's Illinois, Missouri, which is pretty unheard of. Even Iowa, you know, that's pretty unheard of. So, you know, their deals are there. You just gotta hunt hard for them. A lot of times there'll be bad listings on Zillow, stuff like that. I check, you know, I just check several websites a day, but a lot of times it'll be bad. Just a local realtor listed through Zillow or realtor.com or something like that. That doesn't show up on anything else.